Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome on board to our Monday Night Live. This is Shaman Marcus. I am here from our channel, Healing with Marcus, and we're doing these lives every Monday night at 7 p.m. And you are so very welcome to come on board here. And I love seeing the returning people on here. I'm so grateful that we have a small budding community of spiritual seekers who are continuously growing. We are on a path of growing. And of course, today is a more intense growth spurt than what we have experienced in a kind of a long time. Every full moon has been intense, especially lately, and our new moon that's coming in, I believe it's today, um, together with the solar eclipse that was earlier on today, uh, we are experiencing some major energy shifts that are happening all across our globe. It's happening in the field. Ellie K, there you are, dear sister, beautiful dear sister. Lovely to see you on here. And Johnny Neal, welcome on board, and Trenton Shine, and everybody else who come on here, and Shauna, and whoever else is coming on board later on. So, first off, let's just bring ourselves into a moment of tranquility, a moment of inner stillness. Just take a few deep breaths and sort of remove yourself from your daily strife, remove yourself from your daily toil. Let go of the day, let go of any worries. Move your awareness and your attention into your body, into your heart. And just feel into yourself. See what is present, what energies are dominant in your field. And then move into that space of inner softening, to soften to the self, to soften to life force energy within you. Just feel into it. So, our energy report for today is, of course, going to be regarding the solar eclipse, the new moon, and the conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter, and which is coming in next week, but we can already feel some of the effects of it. And also that there is a comet coming in as well. There's a lot of energetic shifts going on in the spheres. And especially this solar eclipse combined with the new moon is, of course, very powerful. We are, if you see that I'm a little red, I spent a lot of time on the beach yesterday. We do our weekly beach sessions on the beach in Topanga. And I stayed on the beach all day afterwards. So I ended up getting some sun. And of course, the sun is the life giver on our planet. Without the sun, there wouldn't be life on our planet. But of course, the life itself happens within Earth Mother. Everything we touch, everything we drink, everything we breathe, everything we eat stems from the processes of life on Earth Mother. And we are being supported by the solar energy from Father Sun. And one way of looking at these shifts that are happening, because Earth is now moving into a higher frequency. We are moving into a new energetic state. And this gives all of us access to more awareness. Consciousness becomes easier to attain for us. Of course, if you're not on a spiritual path, or even if you are maybe in the beginning phases of your spiritual path, these shifts can seem very overwhelming because they're very powerful. It's so easy for us in our modern day society to kind of be like, well, If I don't believe in it, it doesn't affect me, and all of that stuff, right? But it's a little bit like saying that if you don't believe in electricity, it won't affect you. So if you put your fingers in the outlet, it won't affect you. And of course, that's not true, right? We know that you get shocked if you put your fingers in the outlet in the wall. Just like the energy shifts on our planet affects all of us, but it does it in the realm of the unseen. And when we enter that space, that state of the unseen, some of us will really feel these shifts. Everybody will be affected, but not everybody will feel it because our attention is so diverted away from our inner space. So much of our attention and awareness is being distracted by different outer forms of distractions. And the main journey here is always to return home, to come back into our inner energy field, to come back into that sense of aliveness, to find that sense of gratitude, that sense of when you feel your aliveness in your body, when you can feel your heart beating in your chest, when you can feel the lungs being filled with air that you're breathing in, and then that oxygen is moving through your whole system, feeding every cell of your body, you start to become aware of your life force energy. You can also hold your hands up. If you put them together like this, you will be feeling, you can feel a little bit of pressure, you can feel a little bit of sparkling and tingling effect. And as you separate your hands, you can feel a shift, right? This is your energetic field being compressed between your hands. And you can feel almost like a magnetic push on your hands, right? This is very, very real. And the shift that's happening now, some of us are calling it the Great Reset, because we're moving into a new timeline on Earth, and we're moving into a higher sense of awareness. There are many, many people for quite a long time now that have been speaking about this shift between the new Earth and the old Earth, 3D consciousness versus 5D consciousness. And today's solar eclipse and new moon marks a big shift in getting closer to our higher form of timeline, the 5D reality. And as more and more of us are living in that, from that inner reality, when you are being more and more connected to your heart center, to your feelings, to what energy. Welcome on board, everybody who's coming on board, by the way. Love seeing more and more people on here. So when you're coming into your inner energy and you start to feel it and you start to acknowledge that gratitude, that sense of gratitude for just being alive, for just breathing air, life-giving oxygen, we're becoming aware. And the more and more of us who are in that state of awareness, the people who don't choose to be in a higher state of awareness, they're going to keep seeing all the distractions in our world, right? They're going to keep staying in that timeline where everything is either dark or low vibration or a form of addiction, one form of addiction or another. And then we have the people who are choosing to get on a healing path. And of course, it doesn't always feel like a choice. If we are in an immense amount of pain, healing seems to be the only solution. And of course it is in those moments. It's the only healthy solution, if nothing else. And it's the only upbuilding solution that's going to create an upgoing spiral in your life. So as you are entering your inner awareness, you're entering your inner state of, I feel alive. There goes this feeling. There comes that feeling of I am actually in touch with my inner aliveness. I'm not so dependent, and not only me, right? I'm talking about us, right? We're not so dependent on outer circumstances. Of course, they can play a factor to a certain degree, but when it comes down to it, your inner awareness, your inner aliveness, and that constant stream of life inside of you is that higher level of consciousness. And as you anchor yourself into that more and more, we grow our roots into Earth Mother and we anchor ourselves back home to our life force energy. we can start to feel a little more stable in our inner state. Then outer circumstances, they don't have to affect us to the same degree. So now your life is starting to change. You're starting to make decisions, to take decisions from a higher state, from a higher timeline, from when you're thinking you might even be able to access your higher self, where your higher self will be saying, if you take these actions now, they're going to lead to this result in 5 years, in 3 years, in 10 years. While when we are less aware and we're more in a heavy duty, maybe lower frequency, maybe lower understanding, we'll be reacting always. We're always reacting, which will lead us on another path, down into a lower state of understanding, lower state of vibration. So the people who are choosing to have a different understanding of life, we are growing to a higher awareness. This means that we are shifting our sense of reality. It means that we are slowly around ourselves creating another path, another bubble of energy. And at some point we start to recognize and realize that whatever I let into my sphere, I'm letting that affect me, right? So then we can become more responsible or more aware of what's in our field. And as we start to see, oh, that's in my field and I kind of don't want that in my field, how can I remove that? How can I remove that so I can stay in a healthier state, in a higher vibration? So then we start to make decisions, right? Maybe you need to regain a sense of integrity. Maybe you need to regain a sense of authenticity, a sense of sovereignty. That's the result, right, of you listening to your inner guidance, you listening to your higher self. You become a sovereign being. You become somebody who makes decisions based on what you believe leads to a higher timeline. And the more and more of us who do that, it's going to be creating a new timeline. And we are pulling parts of this reality with us, right? Because we're creating our reality in a sense, right? To a certain degree, we are creating a reality. And even if it's a slow creation, right? Even if it's based on one decision after the next, after the next, after the next, we're slowly creating this healthier timeline for ourselves. While if we are stuck in our addictive behaviors, in our addictions, and our maybe low frequency, we're not creating new timeline. We're creating kind of the same that we've always experienced, the same pain we've had, the same drama, the same trauma that we've been experiencing. We're recreating it, so life will always look hard. It will always look negative because we're not making informed, healthy choices. And as we start to first find that peace in ourselves, find the love in our heart, treat ourselves as our own best friend, when we start to do that and we regain a new sense of groundedness in our system, we start to create this new earth. And in this new timeline, there's still going to be little drops every now and then, right? We're going to have, that hurt. I guess I should have made a different decision for that, right? But as we start to become aware, more aware, we can see that, I made a choice there somewhere. Somewhere I made a conscious or unconscious choice to allow this frequency into my life. How can I sit with that information and grow from that state so I don't make the same decision the next time? So I don't get as angry next time. I don't get as sad next time. I don't get as attached next time. I don't get whatever it is that you feel is your major problem. Right? Because we all have things in our lives that will affect how we feel about ourselves or each other or our life situation. And as we start to take, decisions that are based in a higher understanding, our lives change and the trajectory begins to become an upward building spiral. So things that used to, in my case, things used to go down. My life used to spiral downwards. And it was not a fun experience to feel like, no. Now it's going this way. Oh, no, this happened. Oh, no, this is getting worse. Oh, this is getting harsher. And at some point, I broke. At some point, I couldn't deal with going down, spiraling down more. And nowadays, I've been lucky and blessed, so blessed, to sit in this state of awareness, having a shaman teacher who helps me to go on this path, having Reiki healers, Reiki teachers who've taught me how to do that first and then into the shamanic realm. And then just kept building these spirals, these upbuilding spirals. And of course, life will still happen, but the spiral becomes an upgoing instead of a downward spiral. So even though we can see, and if we look at the news and if we look at any of the media, sometimes we can say, oh my God, it all looks like a downgoing spiral, right? But it's not, because you are now aware that you are choosing something else. And the more of us who do that, the more we're creating this new upgoing reality. So, without us knowing it, we've been creating our reality the whole time. We just weren't aware of it. And now, much thanks to this solar eclipse that happened today, but also thanks to more and more people having this massive awakening. And that's due to a lot of things that went wrong, so people started questioning their sense of reality. Now, more and more of us are creating this new sense of reality, and we are creating what they call heaven on earth. But it is a bit of a slow process because we're going from awareness, from the highest state of understanding, which is the ethereal realm and the feeling realm, into making practical decisions on the material level, on base level reality. And the base level reality takes a little bit of time. We can see that matter is denser, right? These are denser frequencies than the ethereal realms with a higher understanding. So we move from the higher understanding and we start not away from it, but we come from a higher understanding. And when we take decisions in the base level reality, the base level reality begins to shift, but it may take some time. Sometimes it takes time, but it's still like very gratifying. As we're making these decisions, we're getting new results in our lives. We're getting new feedback. It's a feedback loop, right? So we're getting new feedback that helps us to grow, helps us to come higher up. And it's a beautiful part of this process. This is where all the spiritual teachings of all ages have been truthful. 4,000 years ago, 6,000 years ago. They were speaking about the same stuff we're talking about now. You can find it in the Bible. You can find it in the Quran. You can find it in the Torah. You can find it in the Bhagavad Gita. You can find it in any one of the old writings, in the Buddha's teachings. But it's coming back in our reality with a new kind of twist. This time, how we can hear it, how we can understand it, so that in our time, we have a chance to now grow. And one way of thinking, now we're just shifting out of that for a moment, and we're shifting into this idea of, think about the solar eclipse. Why does it affect us, right? Why does the sun and the moon and the other planets affect us? Well, if we zoom out in the scope, right, from the human perspective, we can say, oh my God, the sun is so big and the earth is so big and we're so small. We're like ants, right? Well, if you zoom out a little bit and you envision that the sun is as big as a tennis ball and you have earth as big as a pebble or something like that. And you think that they are in water. They're flowing in water, and you have the sun spinning and moving through the Milky Way, but it's in water. And then you have Earth spinning behind it, being pulled along, also in water. And then you have the moon spinning around Earth, also in water. That's going to be creating, we can see, if we think of it as water, we can see that, oh yeah, of course, the moon, how it moves would affect how the Earth moves and situates itself in life. And the same thing with the sun. Wherever the sun is, wherever the moon is going to affect how the Earth experiences its spinning journey through the water or space. Because space is a big, basically vast ocean of different forms of energy, right? We got magnetism filling space. We got radiation filling space. It's just empty from the human perspective. One way to envision that is if you take a fish out of water, you lift it up out of the ocean, and the fish goes, I can't breathe. There's no air. There's not enough air here, or there's too much air. I guess I don't know what the fish would think, but it can't breathe on land. It tries to gasp, right? It's trying to get air because it can only breathe in the water. So it's put back in the water, and now it's like, oh God, I can breathe again. My God, I can't believe these humans are up there in air in that emptiness. How can they even breathe there? Well, if you take a human out of Earth's atmosphere and you put him into space, or her, we'd go, I can't breathe. There's nothing here. I can't breathe. Because our biology has grown to be adjusted to Earth's atmosphere, right? So when we look at this, when we look at a larger sense of reality from a larger scope, we see that it's only from the limited human perspective that space is empty. Just like it's only from the fish's limited perspective that air is empty. And it's a beautiful process of insights that we're all having, right? That we're starting to understand more of the connectivity of our universe. This is also where we're coming into heart-centered living. The mind lives in the past, right? Basically, the mind is, or the brain is a control organ for our body. It tells the nerves and the muscles to do this so that my hand does this when my brain says it. And it learns by experiences, right? And then it draws conclusions from the past. So if I experience something traumatic or even falling off my bike, when I get back up on the bike, my brain has now thought, oh, I don't want to experience that again, so I'm going to ride my bike differently. Or if we got scared enough, we're going to say, I'm not going to ride the bike at all. If we compare that trauma to other forms of trauma growing up or in relationships or whatever trauma we have experienced, we might be withdrawing from a lot of things because our brain is making the connection that this is dangerous, that's bad. The heart, on the other hand, is part of our living organism as a human body, as an animal. And what happens is that the heart can feel what's happening. The heart feels into the energy field, the magnetic pull of the energy field. This is, I don't know if you've had the experience. I've had the experience quite a few times, when I meet somebody, in my case, especially if it's been a love relationship, but it could be many other things too. But in a love relationship, if I meet somebody, like if it's a really deep, something meaningful in my life, I have felt it in my heart. When our eyes have met, I have felt my whole chest has gone boom. And I've known that something very particular is going to come out of this experience. And of course, it hasn't always been pleasant. In fact, it's been extremely unpleasant when it breaks apart. But it's been extremely pleasant when it was developing. So our heart can feel a different level of reality than the mind. The heart lives more in the now and also a little bit into the future. Or a little bit like it recognizes a soul friend, a soul mate, a soul friend, a soul family member. Because sometimes, we welcome aboard everybody. When we are having this, you may have had that experience too, when you meet somebody and you're like, oh, I've known this person before. I know I have known them before. And sometimes we might even ask, how did I meet? Have I met you before? And many times we've never met before in this reality, in this 3D version of this lifetime. But many times we have been traveling in these energy clusters, call it the soul cluster, right? Soul family. So we have interacted with each other in previous lifetimes. It could be 1,000 years ago, it could be 500 years ago, it could be 50 years ago. But we've acted together before. And these groups, these family groups or clusters of energy, of souls, are traveling in a similar vibration, so they meet in lifetime after lifetime. And often it is so we can keep teaching each other these lessons on how we raise our vibration to the highest good for all. Because as we then learn how to heal trauma, we learn how to diverse ourselves, or move ourselves, or divorce ourselves, move away from addictions. When we recognize that sense of discomfort in our system that's leading to an addiction, or we recognize that, oh, there's that feeling that I don't like when I have, and then I have something to distract myself from that feeling. And it's usually habitual. Usually it happened early on in life, and then it's just stayed with us. But when we start to find it, we begin to see, oh, that's an addictive behavior I have. Oh, that thing there needs to change. Or I always act the same way in relationships, or I always act the same way at work, or whatever it might be. When you start to bring awareness to things and you can see it a little bit from above, from the higher self's perspective, you start to shift your awareness, right? And now we can make more healed decisions and conscious agreements with ourselves and with the world. It's truly a beautiful journey once we come into the beauty of it. Once we feel that life force energy coursing through every cell of our body, we begin to really, really grow. And I believe that you are sitting here because you feel it too. I believe that you might be on a very, very high level of vibration, or maybe you're in the beginning parts of your journey. But wherever you are on the journey, you're on the journey, and that is what matters, right? Every one of us is on this trajectory of healing. And regardless of where we are on the trajectory, each step, each movement, each understanding matters. Each growth spurt matters. Yes? And some will learn one lesson really early in their journey, and then others will learn the same lesson really late in their journey, because we have a different program that we're coming from. This is where we're all unique, right? But we are returning to oneness. We are returning home, coming back home, and the heart will guide us home. This is the solar eclipse. The great reset has started. And we are finding our way back home. And as we're living from the heart, I would like for you all to envision what it could mean for the world if all of us lived from our heart. If all of us made decisions based in heart, instead of based in fear or ego or negativity, which is all very connected, yeah? So envision that. Like I kind of believe that if we keep envisioning this world of the world leaders coming from a heart space, a healthy heart space where they truly want what's best for everyone, for the people on the planet, where of course we would be getting rid of the unhealthy practices, either of war or of big pharma or big agro or whatever it might be. Because they're unhealthy for the planet. They're unhealthy for the humans. Right? They might be healthy for the pocketbooks of way up there. But that's not leading with the heart. That's not coming from love. So if the more of us who can envision a world being led by heart, the sooner that reality will be taking place in front of us. We are creating this reality together. We are co-creators of our reality. We're not the only ones creating it, but we are co-creators. So if we can open up our hearts and we realize that we come from love, we can create a completely different sense of reality, a completely different reality, world for everyone. All right, dears, beloveds. So we've gone over a lot today. By now, we're going into our healing session. And we're gonna, if you're new here, I believe most people here have been to the healing parts before. And if you come from the IG platform, you are aware that this is what I used to do on IG only before. And now we're doing it here on YouTube. And we have a talk, and then we're going to the healing part. And I would like for you to set an intention. What's going on for this reset? What can you do to strengthen both your sense of love? You're treating yourself better, treating your body, your life like you're your best friend. What is standing in the way of that? What strings of fear, what energetic ties are standing in the way of you fully expressing yourself? Oh, and by the way, we're going to return to the chakra healing practice next week. This week, we have the solar eclipse, and I felt like it was more important to discuss that today. So next week, we're going back to the chakra healing. But right now, I would like for you to set that intention. How would you like this healing session to help you, support you? How can we all come from a sense of heart, an opening of our hearts and love? How can we hold all the players in compassion? The more we hold the world in compassion and light, the more we understand that we are the guardians of our planet, and we are helping and supporting the field. We're raising the awareness. So, beloved, we're going to open up sacred space and move into the healing part. You just take a few deep breaths. Let's move into our inner awareness again. Feel into your heart. Take a few deep breaths into your body. Expand the heart center. Yes. Let your mind drop into your heart. And we are going into the intense part of the session, the healing session. Yes, let that energy expand. Have that light come in from above. Feel the cobwebs leaving your system. Clarity, clarity, clarity is coming in. Yes. I am Shaman Marcus, some of the tribe of kings and queens of old. We are gathered here today through the social media ether. We are opening up sacred space for all of us for this virtual session. We call on the winds of the south. We invite the winds of the south, represented by the serpent, the feminine healing powers of our world. We invite the serpent to come here and hold sacred space for us and to activate the deepest level of healing in every part of our system, from the root chakra and up. Then we come to the winds of the east. We invite them to come here. They're represented by the condor, the eagle, and the dragon. These are the seers into the unseen. And we're asking that they hold sacred space from the direction of the east, that they guide us into the realm of the unseen. We invite the winds of the north, represented by the raven, to come here and hold sacred space for us from the direction of the north, and to activate the deepest level of knowing in every part of our body, in our physical body, our emotional body, our mental body, our energy body, and our spiritual body. May the raven help us sit in the highest vibration, the highest vibratory field. We also call on the winds of the west, represented by the jaguar. And the jaguar is the holy warrior of our planet. We ask that she lend us her courage into our hearts, and that she guard our sacred space from the direction of the west. We also call on Earth Mother, Pachamama, and Father Sun, Father Sky, to hold us in their loving embrace, to hold sacred space from the direction below and from the direction above. So we get to sit in this sphere of sacred space. We invite Saint Michael with the sword of light, sword of truth, to cut any cords that can be cut when it's for the highest good of all involved. And with that sword of light, help us see the truth. We have Stungle the dragon, Maya the wolf, and Bayo the bear, our power animals, who are here to facilitate the healing and to guard our sacred space. We have Sam and his brothers, our guides, who are here to facilitate the healing, to guide us, and to guard our sacred space. We also sit with a tribe of kings and queens of old. They are so happy that we gather like this. We have Ombute and her loving, supporting energy. So grateful. We have the ancestors, your friends and family on the other side of the veil. The ancestors who are keeping a watching eye over you, much like guardian angels, nudging you, giving you hints so you can stay safe. Then we have life force energy itself, feeling it in every part of our body. And we have the ascended masters of old, the ones that have left the physical body but are still in the ether. They're holding us in a very high vibratory field. And lastly, we have the power of the Norse. We have Odin, Freya, and Thor. And we have Stafnir and Rafnir, our helpers, and Hugin and Munin, our allies. So I invite you to sit with an open mind, dropping it into the heart, letting these sounds and vibrations take you on a journey. Reset, renew, recharge. Reset, recharge, renew. Refresh. Every cell in the body, every part of our energy field. We're coming into a higher level of present moment awareness. Keep sitting with that. Taiyo wa iyo ko taiya. Oh, taiyo wa hiyo ko taiya. Taiyo wa hiyo ko taiya. Taiyo yo 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 yo. Hiyo. Yo 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 wahio tayo 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 wahio tayo Tayo. Teo yo 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 Tayo. Tayo yo 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 Taio, 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 oi, 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 I am Shaman Marcus. I'm of the tribe of kings and queens of old. And I'm sitting here together with you, and we're so grateful for you, for us. We give great thanks to the winds of the south, winds of the east, winds of the north, and the winds of the west. To Pachamama, Earth Mother, and Father Sun, Father Sky. To Saint Michael with a sword of light, sword of truth. To Stangle the dragon, Maya the wolf, and Bear the bear. To Sam and his brothers, to the tribe of kings and queens of old, to Umbuti and her loving presence, to the ancestors on the other side of the veil, friends and family on the other side, Mawa Yahi Yokutai, forever supporting us from the other side. We give great thanks to life force energy itself, to the ascended masters, and to Odin and Freya and Thor, and Stafner and Rafner and Hugin and Moonin. Give great thanks for these journeys, these healing experiences. Take us beyond mind, straight into body, straight into energy, straight into life, beyond mind, beyond the thinking, analytical mind, into the body, into the heart. This is where we belong. This is who we are. Tawa Yahi Yokutai. We are so grateful to you. Yo yo gota te aheyo. Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murataye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murataye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murataye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase We bow to your magnificence, to your beauty, to your love. We bow to your power. Aho wa e koto taia, te o wa e ahi o, ahia na e toio tai. Thank you, LEK. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody who came on board. So happy to see many people on here. Feel free to leave comments or questions or thoughts. Sierras and Sunsets, thank you, thank you. Saying nice to see you, sending love to you and everyone else on here. So much love and light, so much love and light. We are getting that new energy in our system. Yes, sir. All right, have a beautiful, lovely, amazing week. And we will talk to you again next month. If not before, feel free to reach out. I always appreciate comments or questions or thoughts. All right. Bye-bye. Namaste.